Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in to this first Q&A video of our quarantine time. I hope that you are staying safe and healthy and doing all the protective measures you can to make sure that you and the ones you love most are staying safe during this difficult time. I just wanted to make this time a little bit better by trying to provide some help to any and all goalies that are out there. So I'm going to be providing once a week question and answer segments, answering any questions that you might have. And I got a few good ones this week, so I'm excited to dive deep into it. So with that being said, I'm going to jump right in. So the first question is, what do you have to do to get looked at by colleges from a place not known for lacrosse? So I get this a lot, and I dealt with it a lot, frankly, when I was coaching in California. And it's definitely hard because you have less access to the huge tournaments. It's a higher cost, so I totally understand all of the struggles and the impediments that go into that. However, it can be done. If you want to play in college and you're not from a huge lacrosse area, you can make it work going any level. That's by, number one, making sure that you're emailing, reaching out to those schools that you're interested in, and sending them highlight clips. So even if they might not get to see you in person, your highlight film is so important. I cannot reiterate that enough if you are from a non-traditional area, because every single college coach is going to read their emails. They're going to look at the video, because just like you're trying to find the right home for you, they're trying to find the right players to fit what they're doing. And you just never know when that one email is going to come across and you find a really special player. So know that all the coaches are reading emails and checking out what you send. So as long as you have a really quality highlight film, you should be good to go. Another great way that I would definitely recommend is going to camps and clinics. For me, this was a huge asset. Obviously, even though I was from a traditional area in Maryland, I was trying to go across the country to California. And I even had the extra hurdle, which many of you do too, playing a fall sport. You can't always make it to every tournament. Not only that, but I played field hockey goalie in addition to lacrosse goalie. So I was into fall tournaments and trying to use my feet to save the ball instead of trying to really use my hands. It was really impeding my play. And so the coaches wanted to see me play some more before trying to move forward with decisions. So I was given the opportunity to go to Stanford camp and play, and ended up doing well, and things, as you know, progressed forward and went really well. But when I was at that camp, not only was I able to showcase my skills, but I was able to get to know the coaches better, see the school in a different way, talk to some players that were also looking at the school, even some current students that were working it, and the coaches got to know me better as a person too. I was a super shy kid, so for me, it was really important that I felt somewhere where I could be comfortable, and them getting to know me was a huge help in the process. So those two options I really cannot recommend enough. I understand, though, the hurdles that go into it if you aren't from a traditional area. But like I said, if you can make those happen by getting a good film, a good highlight tape, and going to camps and clinics, that's going to do you huge favors. Next question here. Sorry, it's a little windy in North Carolina right now. Tips of clears and dodging. I'm not really sure exactly the question, if you're looking for tips on a drill or just types of clears and dodging. But I guess here are some things I can say. One, goalie stick work has to be good. Okay, this notion that goalies don't have to have good stick work is just exit it from the brain. It has to go away. You have to be good to be able to clear the ball, not only in your crease, but to be able to come outside. Especially as more and more coaches are attracted to more active goalies outside the crease. If you cannot handle yourself outside of the crease, all right, this is going to be a huge detriment to the recruiting process if you are trying to look to go there. Not only that, but it's going to harm your team. create turnovers so that you're going to be facing more shots. Now, if you're excellent at the clear, you're excellent with your stick work outside, and your agility and footwork and ability to move outside the crease, you're going to create more opportunities for your team to score and less shots that you have to see, which is always a good thing. I mean, obviously we love shots, but if we can limit those and create more opportunities for a team to win, obviously we want to do that. Now, with types of dodging, there are obviously all different kinds of dodges you can do. I personally just always had a go-to that worked. I had a backup one. For me, it was a face dodge always. As you'll find, and I'm sure many of you have already found, attackers are really check happy when it comes to the goalie. So, I would kind of bait my stick down low, kind of carry it up on my side towards my hip. And then as the attacker's running at me, I'd kind of wait, kind of bait it, and then pull it across my face and run at an angle. That's the biggest piece of advice I can tell you too, is if you're clearing on the run, do not run straight, okay? If you're trying to run straight and clear and you go to pull back, that attacker is right behind you getting that check. But if I'm running at an angle, now I'm creating more distance between my stick and that attacker is coming at you. So that's going to benefit you with that. And clearing, obviously, if you have the quick clear, look out from the sides. That's always going to be your best bet, or where the shot came from, as that attacker might come jump you. But for the most part, if you make a save in the crease, try to take your time with it. The value of the ball is so crucial. And too many times I see goalies get too excited about the save and they just chuck it out. And that creates a turnover. So try to take your time with it, unless that fast break is right there and wide open. Otherwise, as I'm sure a lot of coaches would agree, value the ball always. Let's see what else we got here. What is a good drill to work on cross cage movement with tracking? Okay, so this is a tough one. I'm not gonna lie. Simply because it requires a lot of elements to practice it. So one thing that I really like to do with goalies when I'm setting up to work on this, because it is really easy to get out off angle, no matter if you're, facing a crease roll in close, or an attacker's coming in from the wing off a dodge and trying to move you across your arc. So what I really like to do, and you can set this up in a variety of ways, is if I have an extra attacker shooting, I will stand as the coach, stand behind the attacker and watch the angles as they're going. And I'll start slow, let the goalies get used to it, and then I'll speed it up as they go and continue to point out, look good, they not look good. Or sometimes I'll even ask the attackers when I'm not there and they want to do more shooting on their own, okay, you need to be more vocal in telling your goalie friend what these angles are looking like. If you see a side that's more open than the other, that can be super beneficial to practicing that movement across. As far as advice on where you want to be, really what I like to say, and this is how I was coached, is to really line yourself up with the shooting shoulder. Okay. And I really like that, because if I'm going to extend out, okay, I'm still square with this, right? If I come over and across, or I switch hands, I'm still in a position to make a save. Sometimes when we try to stand directly square onto a shooter, we kind of get behind. And then you see a lot of times on that crease roll, that extension, boom, and pop behind, right? So if I kind of shift that over a little bit, so now your center is lined up with a shooting shoulder. If you're facing a right-handed player, now I'm a little bit closer to that side. And I see that because I'm seeing more and more of this extension shot right around the goalie, right? And that's also why, as a coach, I typically teach goalies to try to hold as much as possible, because attackers are just waiting for you to come out and then extend around you. So that's just something to keep in mind there. There really isn't a specific drill for working on that arc movement. it's really just reps and getting used to the feel of the 8 meter. You know, if you're at home and you can kind of set up some type of arc using like water bottles or lacrosse balls themselves or cones, just so you can get some practice while you're at home, because I know a lot of people like here are facing field closures. If you're one of the lucky few that has fields open and you know you have an attacker friend that's nearby and you guys can stay 6 feet away and still work on that, that's awesome. But like I said, this area, you just gotta rep it out. And that's the best way you learn, is by keep doing it over and over. And the more you do it, the more you get used to it, and you'll get a better feel of where you are in the cage, so that once you're in a game situation, you don't really have to second guess. You're not really having to tap your pipe. You just know because you've done it so much. So I hope that helps. I know it's not an exact answer probably to what you were looking for, but feel free to ask any follow-up questions you might have. Let's see here. What else we got? Okay, what is the difference in setting up with the head of your stick top right versus middle right? I'm not too sure about the question. I might need more specifics, but I'm guessing in the stance, I'm just going to roll with it. I'm assuming this is what you're asking. In your stance, do I set up with my stick to the right over here or more towards the middle of my face? Now, I typically would hold my stick basically just to the right of my helmet. You don't want it too close because you're not trying to block your vision, and I don't want it too far to my right because all you're doing is extending the time that it's going to take to come across. And as goalies, we always want to move as efficiently as possible. So when I hold my stick, I want it just to the right of my helmet. The biggest thing, even more than, you know, where your stick actually is, closer to the middle or to the outside, is that your hands start in front. Too many times I see goalies with their top hand angled backward or straight up and down and to the right of their helmet. And so what this does is, again, it's creating more time that you're going to have to take to get your hand to the ball, right? If my hand is back here behind my head, I have to come forward and out instead of just being in front and boom, driving my hand right there to go make that save. It makes it a lot faster and a lot easier. And again, as goalies, we want to move as efficiently as possible because you have milliseconds to react and make saves. So the more we can set ourselves up in positions to make contact with the ball faster, we want to do that. So I hope that answers your question. If not, again, feel free to message me and I'll follow up with next week's Q&A. Let's see here. I think there was one more. Or maybe not. Okay. I guess that was it. So, that's it for week 1. If anybody else has any questions, feel free to reach out. In the meantime, like I said, I hope you all are staying safe and healthy during this time. I know it's hard. Believe me, I'm struggling too. I mean, I'm in a 1-bedroom apartment with my sister. That's why I'm outside right now. But we're all in this together. Take one day at a time. You got this. Keep working hard. And as always, goalies rule. Bye, guys.